Hello everyone, my name is Sanjay Saragi and my NPM 2201030028. Introduction. Discourse analysis is a key field in linguistics. It studies language beyond the sentence level, focus on how meaning is constructed in contexts used in linguistic communication, sociology, and education. According from Brown and Yule, discourse analysis is the analysis of language in use, explanation, emphasize real communication, not isolated sentence, concerned with how speaker use language in real context. And according from Cook, 1989, discourse analysis examines how structures of language become meaningful and unified for their users. And the key points is focus on coherence and cohesion, and then studies how text makes sense to people. And according from Fairclough, 1992, discourse is not just language, but language as a form of social practice. And the key points links language with power and ideology, and studies how language reflects and shapes society. And according from G 1999, discourse analysis is the study of language in use, seen as social and cultural practice. The key points is focus on identity, culture, and context. Analysis how language construct social roles and relationships. And the fifth is according from Schifrin 1994. Discourse analysis is the study of language use above the sentence level, focusing on larger linguistic units. And key points in concern with text, conversations, and interactions. Look at organization and structure of talk. Summary of definitions. Brown and Yule 1983, Language in Use, Practical Communication. According from Cook 1989, Meaning and Unity, Coherence and Cohesion. According from Fairclough 1992, Social Practice to Power and Ideology. According to G 1999, Culture and Identity to becoming social meaning. Schifrin 1994, Beyond Sentence become text structure. Main features of discourse analysis. The first is studies language in context. The second is focuses on meaning beyond the sentence. The third considers social, cultural, and ideological aspect. The fourth is examines coherence, cohesion, and structure. The fifth is analysis spoken and writing communication. And sixth, link language, identity, and power. And in conclusion, discourse analysis goes beyond grammar and words. It connects language with real-life communications. Understanding discourse helps interpret social meaning. And language is not just what we say, it's what we do. Okay. Why do we study discourse analysis? Discourse analysis examines how language is used in real communications. It helps us understand meaning, interactions, and context beyond grammar. Discourse analysis connects language with society, culture, and identity. Discourse analysis examines how language is used in real communication. It helps us understand meaning, interaction, and context beyond grammar. Revealing power and ideology. Language reflects social power, bias, and ideology. Discourse analysis exposes how language influences thought and behavior. Example, media language can shape public opinion. Connecting language with culture. Every community has its own discourse styles. Discourse analysis helps us understand cultural values through language use, promotes intercultural communication and awareness. Understanding language in context. By analyzing conversation and text, we learn to communicate more clearly. Discourse analysis improves writing, speaking, and listening skills. And third, it teaches how structure, tone, and word choice affect meaning. Developing critical thinking. Discourse analysis trains us to question how people use language strategically, encourages analysis of hidden meaning and assumption, and helps detect manipulation in speech and writing. Application in education. Discourse analysis is used in teaching and curriculum design. Teachers use it to create authentic learning material. Learners practice real-world language, not just grammar rules. Research and real-world use. Discourse analysis support research in linguistics, sociology, and media, used to study interviews, advertisements, politics speech, and etc. And then provides insight into human communication patterns. Conclusion, we study discourse analysis to understand language as social action, and discourse analysis connect language study with real-life communication. Meaning and use. Discourse analysis help us understand how meaning is created in spoken and written text. It explains not just what people say or write, but why and how they say it. Spoken meaning and spoken discourse. Spoken discourse focus on real-time communications and interpretation. Example, could you open the window? Could you open the window? Means a polite request, not a literal questions. The explanation, tone, context, and intention shape spoken meaning. Spoken discourse example 1. Conversation between friends. It's hot here. I opened the window. This explanation, the response show understanding beyond literal meaning, a pragmatic interpretation. And spoken discourse example 2. In a meeting. Maybe we should look at this again. Now, for this text, the explanation is indirectly expresses disagreement, a polite strategy to maintain harmony. Meaning in written discourse. Written discourse use structure, cohesion, and organization to build meaning. Example, academic essays, news article, and reports convey logical flow and clarity. The explanation, written text really on syntax and vocabulary rather than tone or gesture. Written discourse example 1. Newspaper headline. Government tackles unemployed crisis. Now, from this text, the explanations, the wording implies positive action and creates a persuasive effect. The example 2, email communications. I look forward to hearing from you soon. For the explanation, this text expresses politeness and professionalism, shows how written discourse maintains social distance. Okay, next, comparing spoken and written discourse analysis. The first, in spoken, immediate, tone, gesture, social, and emotional. In written, plain, grammar, punctuations, informational, and logical. Its type reflects different communicative needs. Why it matters? Discourse analysis help interpret both explicit and implicit meaning in communications. Example, understanding jokes, irony, or bias requires discourse level interpretations. The explanation meaning exists in relationship between sentences, not within one. Form versus functions. Form is the structure of language or grammar syntax. Function is the purpose of language, why it used. The explanation, a sentence form may look simple but its function changes depending on context. Linguistic form, the physical structure of language expressions. Example, can you help me "Can you help me?" is grammatically a question. The explanation form describes how the sentence is built, not what it truly means. Linguistic functions. The communicative purpose behind a utterance, example, "Can you help me?" function as a request, not an actual inquiry about ability. Function depends on content and intentions. Spoken language, example 1. Utterance. It's cold in here. Form statement. Function request to close the window. Its explanation spoken discourse often used indirectness to maintain politeness. Form and function. Utterance. Do you have the time? The form is question. Function is request for information. The explanation spoken function is immediate and context sensitive. Written language example 1. Sentence. The company must improve customer service. Form. Declarative sentence. Function, comment, and recommendation in formal writing. The explanation written discourse hides directive meaning behind formal phrasing. The example 2. We regret to inform you that your application was unsuccessful. Statement. Form is statement. Function is polite rejections. The explanation written text use indirectness for politeness and professionalism. Sentence versus utterance. Sentence grammatical unit is hot. Utterance spoken. Expression is hot. Complaint warning or observations. Why this difference matter? From what is said, function, what is meant. The refers the hidden intention behind linguistic forms. This explanation understanding this help in teaching, translation, and cross-cultural communications. And the discourse analysis studies how form and function work together to express social meaning. Like example, the same form can have many functions depending on situation. And then the role of context. Context gives meaning to language. Without context, word can be misunderstood. The DA always studies language within situations. Types of context. Linguistic context, words and sentences around the expressions. Situational context, where, when, and to whom is said. Cultural context, shared values and beliefs. And discourse context, the background knowledge shared between speaker and listener or writer and reader. Example is in a business email discussed earlier refers to peer communications. Text and situation by Halliday, 1985. Field, tenor, and mode determine the situation of discourse. Field, what is happening. Tenor, who is involved. Mode, how language is delivered. The explanation, these elements define the text of situations. Field, example. Field, the topic or subject of the text. Example, a scientific article on climate change uses technical vocabulary. This is field influence word choice and tone. Tenor, the relationship between participant. Example, teacher, student tone, and equals instructive. Friends become friends equals casual. Tenor affects formality and politeness. Mode the channel of communications. Example, spoken conversations allow immediate feedback. Written reports require clarity and structure. Explanation, mode affect organization and interactions. Why importance of context in discourse analysis? Why context matters? Prevents misinterpretations, reveal hidden meaning, connects language to culture and society. Example, you are crazy can mean insult and affections depending on context. And combine pragmatics and discourses. Pragmatic focus on meaning in use. Discourse analysis studies meaning in structure and interactions. The explanation together they explain how language function social and situationally. Okay, this is for my presentations. Thank you.